Vanakkam. Welcome to Thirukkural with the Times. Bible has a verse by King David. The verse goes something like this. If it was my enemy, I could face the enemy, but it was you who betrayed me, my close companion, my friend. Your words were as sweet as butter, but you had war in your heart. That's what the verse says. Betrayal. Have you experienced it? The sad thing about betrayal is that your enemies never betray you. It's your friends who always betray you. Jennifer Freud, a well-known psychiatrist, gives a name that a betrayal caused by a friend can upset you perennially in your life. It is called the betrayal stigma. I met Mallika in a train. It was a night train and I suddenly realized that the person who was traveling with me is the same person that I worked with almost 20 years back. I was in my internship after my college and Mallika was working in that office. I was there just for 2 months, then I left. But in the 2 months, I used to watch Mallika and Lata. They were such great friends. The entire office used to call them twins. They were together in everything that they were doing. So in this train journey, I asked Mallika, how was Lata? Mallika twitched her lips as if she ate something which was poisonous in nature. And then after much reluctance, she told me that she must be doing okay. After all, she has married the man that I was engaged with. What? I almost screamed. What happened, Mallika? You and Lata were such great friends. You were like the female versions of Jay and Veeru of Sholay. Mallika was reluctant to talk to me. Then after some coercion, she came out with a story. She did speak about the darkest day of her life. Mallika was engaged to Satyamurthy, and after the engagement, she ensured that she introduced Lata with Satyamurthy because she wanted her best friend to approve her life partner. And often they went out, and every time they went out, Mallika was recalling that Lata and Satyamurthy hardly spoke to each other. It was she who was trying to put a bridge between them. Little did she realize that the two were weaving a web of closeness between themselves. And all along, Mallika was just jumping herself into the bliss of matrimony. So one day, Lata was on leave at office and Mallika was working. At lunchtime, she opened her lunch box and she found that her mom had packed rotis and chana masala. And this was Lata's favorite dish. So Mallika decided to just barge into Lata's flat and check on her health and also share the lunch with her. So without any announcement, she just barged into the flat where Lata was living. Lata was sharing that with another girl who was working in the office. The doorbell rang several times and a bewildered Lata opened the door and Mallika went in. That's a room that she has visited hundreds of times. So she touched Lata's forehead to check if she was still running temperature, but Lata was as cold as snow. That's when Mallika realized that something in that room was not okay. It's the same room that she has visited many times, but the smell in that room was different now. It was the smell of a stranger. Or was it the smell of someone she knew very personally? At that moment, the door of the attached bathroom opened and Satyamurthy walked out. Mallika realized what was happening and she said that she started running into the streets. A motorist who avoided her raised his hand and cursed that she will die. And Mallika was actually bewildered. She thought that she was dead already. Then in the train, I further probed Mallika. What happened after that, Mallika? Mallika said it was followed by several rounds of negotiations, apologies, mediations. I was not sad because I have lost Satyamurthy because he just came into my life. But I was sad about Lata. When she opened the door for me, her eyes were laced with a cunningness which I can never forget in my life. Then I moved on in my life. I took a transfer after many years. I got married. I have children now. But I don't have a single friend now. I don't think I can ever fall back into friendship. Betrayal is very difficult to handle through your life. Mallika said this. I held her hand and I told her, I understand, Mallika. And Mallika told me, Bharathi, you can't ever understand. You can't understand betrayal unless you're the victim yourself. Saint Thiruvalluvar unusually has written about 50 couplets on friendship, just on one concept, and 50 couplets he has written. These 50 couplets on friendship, one is what that caught my attention. Amarakaththu Aatrarukkum kallaamaa annaar thamarin thanimai thalai. The friendship of someone who betrays you is like going with an animal to a battlefield that ditches you halfway through it. That's what the great saint says. Betrayal of a friend is something that one will never be able to forget in one's whole life. For more such thoughts on Thirukkural, follow me. Thirukkural with the Times, every Saturday only in the Times of India.